Welcome to Python Programming Language video tutorials by Shine India Pvt Limited. I am your Posubabu Sir, Technical Quant Logical Reasoning Trainer. In this presentation, I would like to discuss list slicing. It is one of the very interesting and important concept from the list. Without wasting much time, let's start and discuss about this concept. So prior to explain the list slicing, let me take one sample list here. So A is equal to, let me take certain elements here. Now I would like to give here indexing numbers for the corresponding elements. So this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. As we know that backward indexing starts with a -1. So give the corresponding indexes for the elements. Now I would like to access these elements. As we know already, in order to access these elements, so we have a method called indexing. Now, using this indexing, we can access the elements which are there in this particular list. Now, if I want to access this 9, so you may write your code as A of index number. You have to pass this index number. So hence it returns the output as 9. So you may access the same element using negative indexing, that is A of -3. So it returns 9 as well. Now, using this indexing method, we can access how many elements at a time? At a time, we could access only one element. Now, can we access multiple elements? So if you want to access multiple elements, you have to use a loop here. So instead of loop, any other methods we have. So we have a method called list slicing. Let me write here. Slicing. Now, what is slicing? Using this slicing, we can access multiple elements. Multiple elements. Do remember this one. So, which means what? We can extract the sublist from this list. So I hope you could understand what we can do using this slicing. Now, let me explain with the syntax so that you could understand in a better way. Let me write here the syntax. So you have to write the list name first. So in this example, list name is A. So list name, so you have to write square brackets. You may say it is a subscript. And here we will be having 3 parameters. So let me write those parameters over here. The first one is start, and second one is stop, and third one is step. So these 3 parameters have to be separated with colon. So you have to write here the colon. All these parameters have to be separated with what? Colon. So do remember this syntax. So you have to write list name, and in subscript you have here 3 parameters. It holds 3 parameters. One is start, second one is stop, and third one is step. Now, what is this start? This start will be giving the information related to what? That is from which index number? From which index number list has to be sliced. List has to be sliced. So do understand. So if I have written here 3, so since the start is 3, so index number 3 onwards, it is going to extract the list. So it is going to access the elements from where? So from index number 3. Suppose if start is given as 3, right? So based on the start, it is going to access the elements. If you are not giving any start over here, the default start is 0. So let me write here. What is the default start? Default start is 0, which means at 0 index onwards, it is going to access the elements. So I hope everybody clearly understood what is the role of this start. Now, let us go for the next parameter, that is the stop. What is meant by stop here? So it is giving the information up to which index list has to be sliced. Let me write here. Up to which index list has to be sliced. So try to understand this information. So stop is giving up to which index the list has to be sliced. So I hope everybody clearly understood what I have explained here. So suppose if I want to access until third index, from 0 onwards. Now you have to give a stop as 3 plus 1, 4. So stop will not be included as like range function we discussed. Here, stop will not be included. So when you want to access up to third index, you have to give 4. I hope you could understand. Right? Now, let me explain what is step. So now there is a relation between start and step. Suppose if start is given as 0, right? So now the element which is at 0 index will be printed. Now in this case, 3. Now what could be the new start? Let me write here new start index. New start index is what? New start index is equal to previous start means old start plus step. So that could be the new start index. If step is 1, previous start is 0, then what could be the new start index is equal to old start 0, step is 1, then new start index will be 1. Right? Suppose if step is 2 given, so 0 plus 2, new start will be 2. So I hope everybody clearly understood what is start and what is stop and what is status has been separated with a colon here. Now, let me explain with examples so that you could understand in a better way. Now, let me erase all these things. Take one list here. So, A is equal to, I'm going to take certain elements here. Right. Now, let me give corresponding index numbers for better understanding. So, even I'm giving here negative index numbers. Right. Now, let me write here A of, so I am giving here start as 0, colon, stop I am giving it as 4. So when you are writing 4 here, the element which is at index 4 will not be printed, will not be accessed. So previous index is what? 3. Up to third index only, the elements will be accessed. Now, I haven't given here the step. Then what could be the default step size? Default step is equal to 1. When you are not providing the step value here, so default, it will take it as a 1. Now, what output you will be getting here? You will be getting the output as 3 because the start index is 0, and then step is 1. Then new start will be what? Let I have explained already. So new start equal to old start plus step. So by default, step is 1. New start will be 1. Now, the element which is at index number 1 is what? 4. So that will be printed here. Now, again, it will increase the start. So then what could be the new start? So previous start is 1 plus, and step size is 1. Now, new start becomes 2. Now, the element which is at index number 2 will be printed, 5. So again, new start. So old start is 2 and step is 1. So then the updated start will be what? 3. Now index number 3. So what element is there? 6. That will be printed. Now is it takes index number 4? No. Right? So as we know that start should be less than stop. So it has to hold this condition. So clearly start is 3 less than, what is the stop here? 4. Condition is true. So this was accessed. Now, if I have taken new start, which is equal to what? Old start plus 1, it becomes 4. Now, 4 less than 4, condition failed. This won't be executed. So this will be the output you will be getting. Right? Now, if you are writing this one, 0 colon 4 colon 1, so the output remains the same. As I told you, default step is 1. I hope you could understand. Now, if you are writing the same code as colon 4, so you will be getting the output as the same. So that is 3 comma 4 comma 5 comma 6. So when you are not giving here start, by default it is taking it as a 0. When you are not giving step, so by default it is taking as a 1. So that is the reason you are getting the outputs as remains the same. Now, let me execute it in my IDE so that you could understand in a better way. Let me open my IDE and take one list here. A is equal to 3 comma 4 comma 5 comma 6 comma 7 comma 8 comma 9 comma some 10. So these are the values I have taken. Now, let me write here. So start is 0. Stop I have given 4, which means fourth index will not be considered. So prior to that, we have a third. So right. So until third index, the elements will be accessed. Right. Now prior to that, here I'm writing print statement to show the difference. Now the same line I'm copying and then paste it. And here you just write 1. So default step is 1. Now let me remove this start. So when you are not giving start here, default start is 0. And even here, I did not provide the information called step. So it is considered it as 1. Now let me execute it. In all the 3 cases, we got the similar output. So I hope everybody clearly understood what I have explained. Right now, let me make some changes over here. So A of, now I am giving start as 1. So, and I'm not giving any other thing. Step size is not given. When stop is not given, do remember here. So it will be taking length of the list as stop. Length of the list. Consider it as stop. Right? Now, what is the length of this list? So 8. So since 8 elements are there, So length of the list is 8. Now let me write here print statement. So I have given start over here. The start is 1, which means the index number 1, what element is there 4? So from 4 onwards, all the elements will be printed. Though you are not given stop here, it will be taking it as length of the list. Length of the list is 8. So it will be taking it as the 8. And step is not given. So hence it is taking it as 1. Now let me execute it. So you got all the elements from index 1 onwards. Now let me copy this and paste it. Now in this case, I am writing here stop. Stop as 8. Now we know that length of the list is also 8. Here I haven't provided that information, but here I have given. Now let's see any difference is there. Execute it. So we got the same output. When you are not given here stop, so by default it is taking here length of the list, right? Now let us copy it and paste the same thing. Here I'm writing stop and I'm writing here step size. Now let us execute it. Now in these 3 cases, you got the similar output. Here you have to remember the important points is default start is 0. What is stop? Default stop. So default means here based on the length of the list, it will be taking directly. When you are not given any information at stop, so by default, it is taking the length of the list. So based on the length of the list, so it will be taking. So whatever the elements which are there, all the elements will be printed here, right? So from starting index onwards, right? So since the start is not 0, so start is 1. So index number 1 onwards, all the elements will be printed. So I hope everybody clearly understood what I have explained here. Now, let me make a few more changes. Let me write here print of A of. Now I am writing here colon. And then I am writing here stop. So when you are giving here stop, start is not given, which means what? So 0 index onwards, the elements will be printed. So let me write the comment here, right? So what is start here? So start is equal to 0, right? What is stop? Stop is given as 6, which means until index number 5, so we will be getting the elements. So 6 will not be included, right? Now, what is step? So by default, it consider it as 1. Now, which means the elements you will be getting over here from 0 index to index number 5, right? So let me write here. So here, let me write end. So end is equal to 5, which means if you have written stop as 6, so up to index number 5, the elements we can access it. So which means 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So until 8 will be printed. Now let's see. Let us execute it and see the output over here. Right? So I hope everybody clearly understood. Now the same line, you could write it as 0 to 6 colon 1. So in this case also, you will be getting similar output. So I hope everybody clearly understood what I have conveyed. Right? Now, let me explain with the next example. Now, I'm going to remove this. Now, let me give one more example here. Now, I am writing here colon colon 1. Now, what does it mean? So let me write the comment here. Here, start is 0. Stop is equal to the length of the list. Length of the list, right? Now, step. Step is equal to 1, right? So what is the length of the list here? 8. So 8 will be coming over here, right? Now, let me execute it so that you could understand. Now, let me write here stop length of the list, which is equal to here 8. So step is equal to 1, which means you are writing indirectly a of 0 colon 8 colon 1. Now, let me execute it. You will be getting all the elements which are there in the list because start is 0, step is 1. So every element you will be getting over here, right? Now, let me write the same code. So 0 and stop, I'm giving length of the list is 8 and execute it. So in this case also you are getting the same output. Now, let me make some changes here. Instead of 1, let us give 2. So step I have given it as 2. Then what will happen? So here, what is the start? Let me write here. Start equal to 0. And stop is equal to, so length of the list, that is 8. Now, step is equal to what? 2. Now, what does it mean? So originally, start is 0, right? So whatever the number which is there at index 0 will be printed. Now, in the next case, what will happen here? So it has been increasing, right? Based on the step. So since the step is given as 2, now the next element will be printed as index number 2. So at index number 2, whatever the element is there, that will be printed. Now, new start will be what? So you have to add previous start. You have to add 2 to this previous index. So which means it becomes 4. Next index will be what? 6. So every time 2 will be added to the previous start, right? So I hope the idea is clear to everybody, right? Now let me execute it so that you could understand. So initially, the number which is located at index number 0 will be printed. Let me write here the comment and then so that you could understand. So here A is equal to, here I'm writing, so 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right. Now you could see what happened over here. So index number 0, we have a 3. Now the next index number is 2. So corresponding element at index number 2 is 5. So that will be printed. Now next element is 7. Next element is 9. Hence we got the output as this one. Now stop is 8. 8 will not be included, right? So until index number 7, the elements will be accessed. So I hope the idea of slicing is clear to everybody. Now, if you want to write the same code, you may write in this particular way as well. So this is 0 and stop is, you may write length of the list. Here you may write length of the list also, len of A. So however, you have to get a similar output. So I hope everybody understood. Now, let me write one more, print of A of. So I'm writing here colon, colon, and then I am giving -1. So step I have given it as negative index. Now let me explain. So this info in my presentation part here. So let me erase this. Now let me take a sample list over here. So A is equal to, let us take 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now let us give index numbers. So if it is a forward indexing, we'll start with a 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now let us write index numbers for the corresponding elements in backward. So backward indexing starts with a -1. So let us write corresponding index numbers. So I have written the corresponding index numbers, right? Now what I would like to explain here, I would like to explain A of colon colon -1. Now we have written negative index. We have written negative index where at step, at step. And later we will discuss when negative index has been written at stop. So far what we have discussed, we have taken all positive indexes, right? Now here we have taken negative index at step. Now, prior to explain this, now let me show you one sample expression here. If you have written A of colon, so what could be happen here? So here clearly start is not given. So hence a start becomes a 0. And then stop is not given. When stop is not given, so by default it is taking what length of this list. What is the length of this list? It is 8 here. So if you are giving the other list, length will be varying, right? So in this case, the length of the list is stop. So always it is taking length of the list when you are not giving a stop value. Now, what is the step? So step default value is 1 if you are not given, right? Now, hence, this expression also can be written as A of 0 is to 8 is to 1. Then what could be the output here? So we will be getting the output as 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Sorry, even 10 also, right? Now, let me take next expression. So A of, now here, double colons given. In this case, we haven't provided start. Start is 0. So stop is 8. So because length of the list, so step is 1. Now this expression also can be written as A of 0 colon 8 colon 1. Hence you will be getting the same output as like the previous one. Now let's come to here. So when you are writing here A colon colon -1, so at step if you have written negative index, what will happen? So when you are writing colon colon only, you are getting so the elements as in normal order. But when you are writing negative index at step, negative index at step, right? So the role it is going to perform is it reverse the elements. It reverse the elements. It reverse the elements. Do remember this point, right? So now, so what could be the output you are getting? Once you got this output, since we have a step as -1, it reverse the elements. So hence your output is 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. So this could be your output. So I hope everybody clearly understood what I have conveyed here. Now let me execute the same thing so that you could understand in a better way, right? So now let me remove it. Now here, what I'm going to write, copy it, paste it here. Now I'm writing here only single colon. So what does it mean here? The same thing can be written as, so 0 is to 8 is to 1. So both are same, right? Now let me copy these two and paste it here. Now if you are writing here colon colon and this one, both are same. Let me execute it so that you could understand. So A of colon, so you got the output. So 0 is to 8 is to 1, similar output. Colon colon, similar output. So 0 is to 8 is to 1, similar output. So I hope you could understand. But when you are writing minus 1 at step, what it is going, it is reversing the elements. So I hope everybody clearly understood what I have conveyed. Now, if you are writing here instead of minus 1, so if you are writing minus 2, if you are writing minus 2, let me copy it. So if you are writing here minus 2, now you could see you will be getting alternative elements here. You are getting in reverse order, but in reverse order, alternative elements. Now you could see the output. So here 10 and 9 is not there, 8, and then 7 is not there, 6, 5 is not there, 4, and 3 is not there, right? Now, if you are writing minus 3 here, so two elements will be skipped here, minus 3. Now you could see, so first 10 and 9 comma 8 is not presented in this list, right? Now 7 presented, then 6 and 5 is not presented, and 4. So I hope you could understand. So when you are writing negative index at a step, right? Now, what will happen if you are writing negative index at a stop? Now let's go back. Now let me erase this. Now let us write negative index at a stop. Now let me take one expression here. AR colon. Here I am taking minus 1, right? So when you are writing negative index at the stop, so what the role it is doing is, so apart from the last element, the rest of the elements will be printed. Now you could see the output here, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So 10 will not be added here. Now if you are writing colon minus 2, apart from the last two elements, the rest of the elements will be added here. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 9, 10 will not be added here. So if you're writing minus 3, apart from the last three elements, right? So I hope you could understand what I have conveyed here, right? Now, let me remove here one colon and see the outputs. So you could understand. So first time, last element is not added here. So last two elements not added, last three elements not added here. So I hope you could understand. The similar expressions you could write here. So colon minus 1, colon 1. Now let's see, the output remains the same. Now here also you could write step as 1. Here also you could write step as 1. Now there will be no change in the output. So I hope everybody understood what I have conveyed. Now let me explain one more important point in this slicing. Now I am going to give here one job, that is I wish to get the output as 5, 6, 7, 8. So this output I have to get it, which means we are doing what? So we are doing or extracting the portion of the elements from this list. We are extracting a sub list here. That is what? So 5, 6, 7, 8. So these elements should be present in the new list, right? So for this, using slicing, how can you do it? So A of, so here, try to focus what I'm going to convey. So start should be what? So we have to start with a 5, right? So 5 corresponding index is what? A 2. So hence you could write a 2, colon. Now stop we have to write. So up to what element we have to get 8. So 8 corresponding index is 5 actually. But if you are writing here 5, So the element which is there at index number 5 won't be added. So you have to write 6 here. So when you are writing 6 here, so stop is 6, which means end will be what? So until index number 5, the elements you are getting, right? Now, I hope you could understand, right? So now step size is 1, right? Now, what could be the output? So you will be getting the elements which are there at index numbers. Let me write here, index numbers 2, 3, 4, 5. So 6 will not be added. So means the output will be what? 5, 6, 7, 8. So here I have used all positive indexings, right? Now let me write the same expression using negative index, right? So I need to get 5. 5 corresponding index is what? -6. So write -6 here. Now, let me write here, I need to get 8 so that you have to write corresponding index as -2. Let me write -2 and colon 1. Now what are the elements which are there at index numbers? That is what? -6, -5, -4, -3. -2 will not be added. So hence you will be getting the output as 5, 6, 7, 8. So I hope you could understand what I have conveyed. Now let me execute it so that you could understand in a better way. So here I have used all the negative index, right? So apart from this step. Now, so let me write here 2 to 6, right? And here I'm writing, so -6 and remove this one. Now let me go back and execute it once. So I get it. So you could see over here, I got the similar output, right? Now let's go back and you could see over here, can I use mixing of indexings, that is positive and negative? Now, if I have written here A of -6 colon, so I have written here 6 -6. This is what? Negative index. Start is negative index. And stop I have given here, it has positive index. And colon 1. Now, let's see what could be the output for this expression. Right? Now, let me go back. So, and write here print of A of -6 colon 6 colon 1 and execute it. You got the same output, isn't it? So the reason behind that over here is, if you observe here, -6, when negative index as start and positive index as stop given, so try to convert either into positive index or negative index so that you could understand in a better way. So instead of -6, you may write 2. So which means writing A of 2 colon 6 colon 1 is similar to what? So A of -6 colon 6 colon 1. Both are same. So that is the reason we got the similar output for this expression. So I hope everybody understood in what way we can use this slicing, right? So what is the major advantage of using this slicing, right? Now, using this slicing, so the best advantage, the main advantage over here is you won't get errors. You won't get errors. Though list index is out of range, you won't get error. Now, let me show you. Let me show you so that you could understand. Now, let us print A of 9. Now you could see here list index out of range. This is what the error you got it. List index out of range. This is what the error you got it. But so let me show you. Actually, the number which is there at index 9 is not present in the list. So we have until index number 7 only. So A of 7 means you will be getting 10. But A of 8, if I have written here, right? So you won't get it. So you are getting error as index error, which means what? List index is out of range. Now let me extract some list over here. That is a of, so 0 is to 9 is to 1, right? So in this case, actually I need to get error, but you won't get error, right? So you'll be getting all the elements, right? So if I have written here 9 is to 9 is to 1, so you are getting empty list, but you won't get error. So what is the start here? 9, right? So the index, the element which is there at index 9 is not present in the list, right? When it is not present, what will happen? It gives an empty list, but it won't generate an error. So that is the reason majority of the people, they will be using what? List slicing. So slicing, they are going to use it because it won't generate an error. So that is what the main advantage of using this list slicing, right? So I hope everybody clearly understood what is the slicing, right? If you clearly understood my video, please like, share, and subscribe our channel. Thanks for watching.